Now I'm going to be tying a simple spider pattern or soft hackle wet fly. It's a good style, it's a good pattern for the beginning of the season. I've tied it for many years. It's one 100%. I'm not sure exactly what book I got it out, but whether it's a combination or two. But it's one I've tied, and it's one I would certainly recommend you trying. And it's using materials that not so much forgotten, but some materials that you probably not use. If you're say like the hackle I use in the fly is off the woodcock, but it's from the back of the woodcock. This feather here, which is just got a slight. It looks quite white on the video there, but there's a bit of brown in it. It works really well. For the body, I'm going to be using Hare's ear, and for the tail, I'm actually using. This is a bronze Mallard feather. I'm going to be using the grey side of the feather for the tail fibres. Now, it's traditional silk. Got the Piezo silk in yellow. So you don't have to use this. It's up to yourself. Where you could just use a standard yellow thread. I'll stick to the traditional one. Now the hook is a size 14. 14 and 12s are good sizes in this fly at the beginning of the season. Though you could tie this fly much smaller and it'll work right throughout the season. It's a great pattern. And it's very simple to tie. Now the hook is full and mill. This is basically an all-purpose medium, size 14. So I'll wax the thread. Now I'm going to leave a space head length from the eye, and then I'm going to wind down. I'm just going to remove the waist and wind to basically just slightly by the point of the hook, which is there. So when I let the thread go, you'll see it's slightly by the point. I'm going to get some tail fibres from the grey side of this feather. There's 5 fibres there. I'm just lining up the ends and tearing them off. Now, don't be shy with the tail length, but a reasonable tail length on at least the hook length. Tie that on top. Just catch them a couple of turns. Slightly spreading them so they open out. There we are. Trim this the length of the body, which is there. Now I want a decent yellow underbody in this fly, so what I'm going to do is take the thread up, just like at this point here, and then come back down. Now I'm going to stop it short of the tail, so we've got basically a yellow butt. But what it'll help do, it'll help taper the fly. So we'll go to our Hare's ear. Now I just simply tear it off. It should be enough to do the body of the fly. Now I'm going to wax my thread, really wax it, so I'm going to plenty on, and then rub it with your finger, and a wee rub, so that you feel it getting tacky. Now I'm just going to open out the fibres a wee bit, the silk a wee bit by spinning it anti-clockwise. I'm just going to spread it a wee bit better. There we are. And then you basically just get into it. I'll move the hook to the side. It's much easier to do that. It's just to catch it on. Now what I'm doing here is just getting it started. So rubbing it on, just at the base here, not so much up. And then I'm going to spin the bobbin clockwise. Spin it tight. You'll see it spinning your fingers. It'll start to catch in the Hare's ear. And then it's just a matter of winding up. Now, basically rub the body of the fly with the dubbing. Like that. It's basically rubbing so you can see the under, the yellow. Just going to pull up the dubbing here. Now that's enough. That's plenty. It will stick. You will lose the odd fibre, but don't worry. But there'll be enough there to give the impression of movement in the body, life. Now I've taken off one of the feathers, as I say, from the back of the woodcock. You can see there. So I've got one of the small ones. Now the length is up to you, so you could have it quite long as well as short. More nymph-like when it's shorter. So rather than when it's if you want a longer hackle on it, then you're looking at representing the wing with that as well. So what I've done here is to remove the fluff at the base. I've got the tip of the hackle with the hackle pliers, drawn back. What I want to use is the hackle. Then I'm going to trim away most of the, obviously the tip, and leave enough to tie it in. Make sure you wax your thread, get a wee rub. It just helps to make it tacky. And that gives you grip, even though you're winding onto a bare hook. 1, 2, 3 turns there, right? So you're 3 turns towards the eye. And you're going to wind onto that. But all I'm going to do is draw back the fibre. There's a wee hair there, so I'm just going to take that out. So there's one. Oops. Just blow away anything. It broke off, so it's just the tip. Or the end of the hackle. Now this can be tied as light or as heavy as you like. I actually like a decent hackle on, especially in this fly. Now what I'm doing here is bringing the thread to the stem, which is coming around the side of the tip of the hackle pliers, catching in with a couple of turns. Then I'm going to let it go. You've got to remember, it's how can I put it? The wax is on it, so there's plenty of grip. Then I'm going to trim away the excess. Just take it away. There will be a wee butt, a hackle stem there, so what I'm going to do is take a turn in front of that, and then I'm going to build the head by winding up towards the hackle. 2 or 3 turns or so, it's fine. And then I'm going to finish and the way back down. Just place it, control it with the thread coming from the bobbin, and then you go 1, 2, 3. When you're using traditional silks, you need to basically be careful of the number of turns. The thread is 2 or 3 times thicker than the modern threads, but you get more cover. With 1 turn is probably equivalent to 3 turns of the modern silk, a thread, sorry. So you're still catching in plenty. And then what I like to do is just get a wee blow with the hairdryer. What the hairdryer does is a bit adds heat to the feather and brings, when you're winding the hackle, you're twisting the fibres as you wind between each turn, and this way will bring it back. So I'm just going to add a wee bit of heat. So just lightly bringing these fibres out towards the heat, and there you go, you get your nice shape. Just to do that, open your tail out a wee bit. Once you start to fish the fly, it looks good, and there we are, and that's your, it's just a wee spider pattern, it's a wee light dressing. I'm just going to put a wee touch of varnish. Just be careful when you're doing that. I'm applying it with a brush, so a nice steady hand when you're doing that. Just take your time. There we are. And there you go. It's basically I would probably call it more a March Brown spider. It's a kind of in between type pattern. As I say, it's a fly that I've tied over quite many years, and it's developed from tying patterns from books and patterns that I've been tying, basically messing around. And this, as I say, this one worked, and I still tie 2 or 3. So I'm actually putting together a box of wet flies. And these are traditional ones, snipe and purple and so on. What hen blower? You get your patches in yellow, patches in orange. And this one here is golden plover and Hare's ear, which is a nice fly too. It's very similar to this. So a good pattern, they're all good style. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. As I say, it's a lovely tie-in, certainly worth having in your box. If you enjoy the videos, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.